right, twin. Let's go ahead and get this shit talking even more here because we got two different worlds going on, and for anybody that's been watching and criticizing me, and they were calling me the Derek Jackson 2.0, I want to go ahead and give you a beloved fuck you. So yeah.
Rawclusive.
So yeah, though, let's go ahead and get started in this little topic. Now, this actually triggered the conversation because I was watching a young brother, another family man too, by the way, Michael Shumaki. Shout out to you, brother. And he made a video that I sent to you guys, which was called "Black Women Are Losing Interest," right? And his video was pretty profound, but I really wasn't like deep. It was deep, but I was more deep into the comments. I was like, you're saying what most people already say. I get that. But then I was looking at the comments section. And yes, and then the light bulb went off. I was looking at the types. This is what's going on, but I'm not going to go ahead and hand it over to you. I just wanted to go ahead and get an analysis of, okay, if black women are really done with black men, which black women are done with black men? Because when I started seeing the shit, and then I'll go ahead and let you throw in your analysis as well. The black women that were basically in the comment section talking about, I've been done with black men. These women were making little comments like, I've been with this white guy or this non-black dude for like 2 years. He treats me like a queen. He gives me whatever I want. This dude, he comes home from a long day's work and he still rubs my feet and he doesn't ask me to do shit. So it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments made like that. So I was just really wondering. So the black women that are done with black men, are you guys some fucking spoiled brats? Are you entitled? Are you little princesses and shit? Are you guys the type of women that be like, I'm done with black men because guess what? Most black men want reciprocation. If I hook you up, I want you to hook me up, but y'all don't want to hook the brother up. So I'm done with black men and I'm mad at y'all black men because y'all don't give me what I want. Y'all make me work for it and shit. That's pretty much kind of like what I saw on my end. So these are probably the same women that brothers probably don't even want to fuck with anyway. That was just from my analysis and shit. And I had a couple people, I made a couple of videos, 5 reasons black women ain't messing with brothers no more, and also did another one for the brothers, why most brothers ain't messing with black women, vice versa. I noticed it got a lot of attention, and most women who dated outside their race came and made little comments. Yeah, and I jacked your shit and got your comment off of my shit. And the only reason why I did that is because you are dating outside your race right now. Why are you over here in my space?
It doesn't really concern you no more.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't concern you. Yeah, because I don't go in the swirl nation. I don't. I stay in my lane. I'm here. I mean, date whoever you want to date. But I was just wondering, if you don't date black no more, why are you on a black man, especially a little ass small black man's channel? Like I ain't shit yet, but y'all still came over here to decide to make a comment. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Black women are divesting in black men for 2022. Zeze, what is your analysis?
I think the simplest way to put it, it's a suicidal idea. It's death. It's like walking into a pit of fire. Trying to divest from black men. That's home. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna run away to? Where you going? Where you going? That's all we got. If we being honest, even if you want to think they bullet bags, they think they this, they cheat, they do that, they that. Baby, that's all you got. That's who your partner is. That's who your natural born mate is. So, baby, you better make it work. Find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Because going to Brad, to Chung Lee, to what's his name, to Akbar or whoever, it's not gonna be it. That's not the solution. Okay. Number one, shout out to Erica Lachey because I talked to her. I talked about this a couple times, but I remember specifically about the show I did with her. And I brought up a clip where she was talking about, how independence is death, and how divesting will be the epitome of the reasoning of why our community will never be rebuilt, if we divest, But she said something interesting that is how you going to expect somebody to love you when you hate yourself? If you hate black men, that's a part of you. That's a reflection of yourself. So you hate them, you hate yourself, point blank period. You can't walk away from this community and say, oh, black people, so this, black people, and not think that you're not talking about yourself. Other groups look at that. Other groups target black people who think like that because they realize they realize we are the best. We are the gods of this planet. Our men are the best top tier that you can get. They realize that. They realize that our women are the best top tier that you can get. They realize that. So when they see one of us who is self-hating, self-loathing, who doesn't have real knowledge of self, it's easy target. It's like, okay, let me go and give this little black girl, give her some little compliments. Oh, I love your little hair. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. Oh, your culture. Ooh, black church. Ooh, black friends. I'm cool with that. But none of my wealth is going back to your community. All these people that is divesting, when they had children, their children is going to that generational wealth that they're building. If they are building it, is going back to that community, to the Chinese community, Nigerian, Indian, Japanese, whatever the case may be. It's not coming back here. Your side of the family ain't getting your cut. No, they're not getting that. Your children will get a cut, and her and the mother, or the father who's outside of the family. But your family, the FBA, the Foundation of Black Americans that you grew up with, and that you really built everything for, will not get a penny of that, because that's not what they're moving. They're purposely targeting, black people, black men and women who are willing to spread that wealth outside of the community. We only spend our dollar goes in our community, 6 hours? They know we're not spending money with each other good enough. They know we're not building wealth as we should be. So when they can get another one, they can get it, and we worker bees. Damn, for the most part, we fucking worker bees. So they can get another one that personally work for them, and their family won't get no benefit. Of course they're gonna have you. If they see that you hate yourself, that means you have a different sort of love for your oppressor. It's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, So they already know that they're gonna have a certain amount of power or dominance. I believe in the video, the brother was saying that black women and white men, bed wenches. Of course, the bed wench gonna listen to white zaddy. In slavery, we didn't have to listen to black men. We only had to listen to the white man. Of course, many of us has been programmed. We got a lot of bed wenches. Of course, many of the same black women, and it's crazy. The same black women that will sit up here and not submit to our men, call them ain't shit. They bad fathers. They don't know how to listen. They don't know how to communicate. I swear to God, you put them with a white man or a non-black man, and it's the little princess. It's, oh my gosh, okay, Chad. Okay, Zachary, I'll do whatever you want. It's, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I do submit. It's way more intentional with how they're going about dating. They're doing that with the intention of being a submissive woman, with the intention of being a good wife. When they're going to with a black man, it's bad faith. Most of the time, it's, oh, he gonna cheat on me. Oh, it's only be good for the first 6 months. Oh, I'm only gonna do this until I see that he can do this, then I'll give him a little more. You gotta prove to me something. Show me that you're a real man, and then I'll give you a little more feminine, womanly energy that you want. But with a man outside of this community, you gonna get that off rip, because that's what they know is going to attract other men. Their standards. B. Simone, B. Simone, I was just talking about this in my life. B. Simone just apparently she was getting dragged on Twitter because she was saying that black men were so great. She gave like a compliment to him, but then she was like, "You got standards." Did you see that? She was like, "Your standards are so low." And see, I can agree with that. But I think black men's standards, generally speaking, are a bit too low. If we being honest, that's because honestly, we've all been desensitized, dysfunctional families. The list goes on and on. But the standards for a lot of black men are too low. And so like we realize as black women that other groups of men have higher standards. So it's like, we're not going to come to the table with the you ain't. Even the whole interaction, like, we've gotten to the point where it's like, even us naturally just talking to each other, even if it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm trying to date you, even if it's just platonic, we can be very just straight up rude, straight up disrespectful to each other, like the discord that we have with one another, just on the street. But if you take that same black woman and put her in a corporate world, she's gonna be the nicest woman. She's gonna be the one that's trying to come up. She's trying to be the boss and the CEO, and she's trying to get a promotion. She's gonna be so feminine and submissive, and she's not gonna say anything. She's not gonna have an attitude. It's not gonna be like that. When she catch an attitude, it's gonna be, oh my gosh, Shalonda, I had no idea that you would even say something like that out your mouth. Oh, Mary, I didn't mean it like that. It was just, I just had a slip in character. I didn't mean it. But put her around some niggas, that nigga had me fucked up. I'm apologizing because he got me fucked up. He's a bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a completely different intentional energy that you're putting into it. When you versus black men and non-black, it's very prevalent. And honestly, it feeds into the fact that it's like we think black men don't notice that. Like, black men notice when you say thank you to the white man who opened the door for you, and then kind of roll your eyes when he say, hey, how you doing? Or somebody, or you give the Indian man a smile you know, because he said have a nice day, but when you say something to him, it's like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop to, like, they notice that. They notice the difference, especially in corporate, especially in more corporate areas. They peep that, you know what I'm saying? And so, even with that, it's like, black men, it's like they get, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like they're getting to a point where it's kind of like they're fed up. You know, and that's why it's kind of funny that he says that black women are the one that's fed up, when it's really like I said, black men's standards have become so low. They've been so patient with us. They continue to be so patient with us. You know, like we act like our standard, like our position where we're at is so high on the feminine hierarchy, and it's not. Sadly but surely, it's not. That's why we getting divorced. And so how much we are. That's how we're not getting married. How much we are. That's why we overweight. That's why there's a bunch of we have masculine energy in a lot of us. I understand that, but we have to understand that we're running out of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're running out. We're running out of the patience is running thin with black men. You know, and although I do believe that divesting on both sides, so black men and black women, is death. It's suicide. But at the same time, it's like, one gonna tell you to die alone. Like, as a black man, if you got this Hispanic woman who's on your line, who's ready to be your wife, who's ready to be submissive, ready to listen to you, ready to get on your program, ready to raise your children, be the mother, be in the back, play the background like we supposed to do, instead of being in the front, trying to be a CEO, trying to be a boss. Why am I gonna tell you, don't marry her? Go fuck with Shanika down the street. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you, after you've been trying, and you probably had black women after black woman after black woman your whole life, and now you get to this one woman who's like, damn, she kind of different. I don't want to date outside, but damn, she kind of different. Like, it's not. I don't think we've been. It's like we both have we both have been programmed. We both have our shit. We both got our bad qualities and traits, whatever the case may be. We both got our baggage, black men and women. But I think for black men, they haven't been heard. They haven't been. It's been ignored or been belittled. Their problems with us, the issues within ourselves, has been belittled for so long that now it's to a point where a lot of black men, not for the most part, thank God, but there is a nice portion who are considering dating out, who's considering, like, I don't know if this shit worth it no more. And that's a problem, because damn, if the women ain't if we ain't got about, if men control access to relationships, so if our men say they don't want us, there's nothing there. But you know, but for the most part, we should be trying to get back to that, because if our men walk away from us, we have nothing. We have nothing. There is no, I'm gonna go explore my options and date out, and I'm gonna choose my happiness over the community, whatever the fuck that means. But you know, I'm gonna do that when you come back to, when you finally realize that nobody else is the better option. This is your only and the best option is the black man. Once you realize that, you're gonna be looking very sick, along with your kids who are now fatherless. Okay, you're gonna be looking very sick, because nobody is going to replace them. You can't get anybody to replace. There is that. It's either you're going to work on this, you're going to work on yourself, and you're going to work with your black man to try to do better, to connect, to build, or you're not going to do, like, it's nothing you're going to do. There's nothing else past that. If dating out is nothing for us. There's zero for our commitment. Nothing for us, nothing for your children, nothing for you as a person personally. It has nothing for us. If you're trying to do something for the black people, if you want to do something for yourself, for your children, for your children's children, you need to get with a black man. It's point blank simple. Point blank period.
Okay, now that Zeze done empty the clip.
I had it. You know, I'll be going off.
Zeze done went the fuck off. This just didn't come out of the asses of a lot of women. It didn't, especially when I was looking in the comments. So let's go ahead and let's start with the first layer, where I mentioned the whole entitlement shit, the whole spoiled brat shit. Could it be, I've said this before, black men and women, we were raised equal. We were. So now when you have traditional men grow up and they do want a wife and they do want a traditional marriage where they pretty much want his woman to be, if y'all want, I know a lot of y'all fear the word submissive, but we'll just say respect, which in tune is submission. And men, guess what? We submit to our woman all the time. That's when we bust our ass and go to work and bring home the bacon, take the parada role. That's basically us submitting into our role as husband, correct? So now we actually have women who feel like some sisters do not want to do anything for black men. Why? Because it could be a case because, well, we were pretty much raised to be equal. We got our asses whooped at the same time, the same way. Like you said, the ancestors, we all were whipped the same way. We were all property. Our ancestors were property at some point. So it's the reason why a lot of black women really don't want to cater. They don't feel the need to cater. Like they always say, I will cater to my man, or I will submit to my man if I had one, instead of just being respectful. We're not saying you got to submit to every brother you're trying to date. No. But we're actually just talking about just being respectful and not being so defensive. If we did not look at each other as equal, we already call ourselves brother and sister. We do in our culture, which is interesting because I don't think any other nationality does that but us. We call each other brother and sister. Is that pretty much, does that have a whole lot to do with it? We were raised equal. I don't have to be with you if I don't want to be with you. So if I want to go over here because the grass is greener, I'm going to go fuck with it.
Well, yeah, I think that does have a part. I think that does play a role in it as well. But I do think, I don't know if I can say that we were raised equal, but we were raised in reverse more so. You know, like we were raised in opposite roles. You know, they pushed a lot of the women towards the masculine roles and the men towards the feminine. And that's out of fear, you know what I'm saying? Putting the woman first because the woman is less threatening. They put the man out there, they know the man will be, can be killed easily, you know what I'm saying, from anything, just from being himself. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely think that played a big role in it, you know, is how we were raised, because even thinking about myself, you know, I have 2 older brothers myself. And although at like the age of 9 or 10, I moved to South Carolina and I was moved away from them. Even the time that we were there, I will say we had a bit of a different experience because there was a level of respect I had for my brothers. You know, there was a difference. I had a difference in respect I had for my brothers and my sisters and my father, of course, and my mother. You know, the gender roles were there a bit more, although I feel like they could have been cleared up a little, because I feel like we have had the conversation we should have had. The shit I'm talking about right now, I should have had 10 years ago, conversations about, okay, with my parents or family members, whatever the case may be. But I do think it was a bit more clear. Did I just break my nail? I definitely did. My bad. I do think it was a bit more clear.
You don't know what the fuck you ever gonna get with Zeze, boy.
It's gone.
I like how you just said that shit in transition like that shit was normal.
Black women have been like pushed to come more out of their feminine and worry more about masculine priorities. Black men have been told to let black women take the lead on that and to really just stay as the protector when needed, when we feel is needed, to be honest. Not a protector 24/7, not a leader 24/7, but be a protector and a leader when we feel like we need you, you know, and be and say what's on your mind or communicate clearly what you want or what you think should happen when we feel like you should. So we've been kind of, like I said, we've been kind of flipped, you know. So now you see a lot of black women who have kind of been used to that, even ones with brothers, you know, they'll attract men who they're used to being able to dominate in some way, you know. Yeah, you know, I see a lot, you know what I'm saying, that you're able to dominate in some way, you know what I'm saying? And it's because we've had that program, especially the ones who haven't had a consistent father around, you know. They don't realize the type of, I mean, I've talked to black women who seriously, I think I said this inside the last thing we had, who seriously don't even realize how important it is to have a father there. Like, I've had conversations with black women and they say, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. My father wasn't there, but I mean, my mother did what she was supposed to do. Like, I'm good. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Or I don't speak to my father right now, but I mean, what's the big deal? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta know him. I'm grown. It's like I should have known him 10 years ago. Like, this point in life, when it's like, baby, you don't even realize you're still single because you haven't talked to your daddy in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? You're still single because you haven't even learned how to communicate how you feel to him. And so that's coming out into the rest of your relationships, or the way that you do communicate yourself with the men in your family is unhealthy, you know, and they're just desensitized to it. Again, black men's standards being so low. So you're just desensitized to it, and then the men you attract reflect that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to disrespect them. Like, there's no way you should be in a relationship 5-7 years and you complaining that your woman won't submit. There's no way. After the first, honestly, for women's submission, and that's something like we can use respect for submission. Shout out to the Queen, Queen Ali. She says submission is just another word for agreement. If you're not on if you don't agree with his plan, if you're not on his terms, you shouldn't be there. Point blank, period. He's going to set the terms. He's going to tell you what the standards are. If you cannot meet those standards, or you don't want to meet those standards, then you're not in agreement. You will not submit. You won't submit, to be honest. So you should not be there. But women will realize that they won't submit and still stay. and then
And
just
I'll interject. Yeah. Let me interject on
go
that
ahead.
one real quick. There are some cases where men don't even have to say anything as far as obtaining that respect. Some men you just have the respect for automatically. It's
Right.
just there. Like for instance, you ain't never heard of a pastor in the church demand respect. The reason why they just give him respect in the church is because he's an authority figure. He's the
Yeah.
teacher. He's the freaking pastor. You're coming in his house, so when he's speaking, even if he just says something silly at the pulpit, even like you see how much respect a lot of women have for these pastors. The pastor can literally have affairs, mess with boys,
Specifically, yeah. That's
have
a
a
fact.
baby with somebody else, yeah, and they will
Mm-hmm.
still forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
But the brother, but Leroy on the block, let
Don't get
him
no forgiveness.
let him just holler at another chick. He don't even get the ass. He could just holler at another chick, and everybody just found out that he did, and he gets crucified by his woman or whatever the case may be. His
Really?
ass is right. Family members want to beat his ass because, oh, you cheated on my girl. Like, damn, he was just trying to get the number. He was just trying to make a point to cheat, but he didn't get to cheat, and he just still got dismantled by everybody. But really, a lot of men out there just carry themselves with self-respect to the point where you don't want to touch that, where it's like, you know what, I like him, I like how he's carrying himself, let me
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and see what's up with him. And most women, yeah, they go ahead and fix themselves up. And I know we got a lot of women who are going to be on that little shit like, look, I'm not trying to impress no man. It's like, look, you're not just going to disrespect a man out of nowhere, but if you
Mm-hmm.
do, then you do. See, then you're the type of woman that a lot of men already complain about. And especially, when cats were coming at me because I said black men complain about women too much. We'll get to that shit later. But those are the type of women
Oh,
that I'm
you did.
talking about.
I'm weak.
Yeah. The submission, the respect falls in place depending on how the man carries himself, and it's usually his status. And going
Mm-hmm.
back to ancestry, unfortunately, being a slave master was kind of a big ass high status. They're fucking
Yeah.
master.
Yeah.
And that's what, and bed witches, okay, what do you rather do? Still stay in the field, picking cotton, going back into the shack with your husband? Or do you want to go into this house with the fine furniture, with a
Mm-hmm.
bathtub, and
The
be all
butt
up under
biscuits.
zaddy?
Mm-hmm.
And
For
that's
real.
happened.
Right.
That's happened.
Yeah. That's a fact, though. Yeah, we will submit, and even within that, having to submit, women having that, especially modern women, having that idea of only submitting to a man of a certain status or of has a certain amount of masculinity, displays his masculinity in a certain way. That'll be the only way because we submit. And honestly, that's some bull. Honestly, that's some bull. Like we really, I think women, especially with even because I'm not a feminist, honestly. Nobody I know is a feminist, but honestly, we have been so programmed with feminists alike or straight up feminist ideals in our community. A lot of us have been really programmed to think like white women to an extent,
How so?
because it's like, and this is what I was thinking, because it's kind of like how I felt when I first came into like red pill content, or more specifically like Kevin Samuels, because when you hear stuff like men built the world, like men, you can't survive here without a man. If you're going to die alone, you're going to need this amount of money to die alone without a man. If you want a family and you're a single mother, you have to understand the results of how men will look at you after that, or the type of men that you'll attract after that. Like, these are the things that weren't clearly said to me growing up. And I'm walking around, oh yeah, I'm gonna get married like 28, 29. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna submit. I'm gonna become, wife 28, 29, 30. You know what I'm saying? Have some kids. Like, I'm thinking about it in such a privileged way. Like, when there's women, and specifically here in America, when there's women who have to think about that shit, whose parents are thinking about that shit for them at ages 12, 13. Who you getting married to? What families what families we gonna connect you with? So we can build this generational wealth. There are families, especially in third world countries, where women really don't have choices. You want to talk about we oppressed or something like that? Women don't have a choice but to submit in some of these countries. It don't matter who the man is. You're going to submit to whoever man approaches you. Period. And so we came into a sort of privilege as women, and especially black women, because white women really had this privilege before us. You know what I'm saying? At least here in America. We came into this sense of privilege like that we don't have to submit, when it's like, you can't be the man, you have to submit. You know, you know, he could literally beat your ass into submission if he wanted to. Not to say that that's right. Not to say that I could promote that, because I know, brothers, please don't run too far with that idea. But
y'all niggas know better anyway.
We know better. Y'all know better. Come on.
Yeah.
But it's still the possibility that is there. The fact that that idea doesn't even kind of push us into, not even frighten us, but push us into a state of cautiousness to want to submit, or to be at least on the more submissive or feminine side, it's scary within itself. It shows where our women in America, we can talk about modern women in America in general, but as far as Black women, you can see how far gone we have become. And especially as Black women, because we've always been vulnerable in this country. Always. Yeah. We know who our oppressor is. We know who the enemy is. We know how much we've been targeted and how much we target. We were the first one to scream hashtag protect Black women. Well, how you gonna scream protect Black women and you don't got nothing on your side but Black women? We ain't protecting each other, not in the way that Black men are. So the only way to even fix that problem is to get a Black man on your side. Get with another Black man. That is the only, I mean, it's really the, no matter what way you put it, the only solution will be always back to the root of the problem, which is with your man. That's it.
Going back to, like you said, men being the builders. Is that what's lacking? Do you see that lacking? Like, you have a lot of women who's complaining about brothers. Do we just have basically a low amount of men who want to build? And after you build, you know, you got to take responsibility. Like, once you build, this is your shit. Are women just pretty much complaining about dating all these fixer-uppers, and that is actually what's motivating them not to basically mess with brothers anymore?
I think a lot of Black women have been sold a dream, especially within the more like from like 96 and up, my generation. We've been kind of sold this dream that we can have it all. And we can have this fairy tale ending, and that we should be live a certain status and things of that nature. Black men are building. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Over 50% of Black men are making over 50,000 or more. I mean, Black men are out here building. They're out here working. Okay.
Yeah, silently too. Silently.
Yeah, silently at that. I know a lot of Black men, and honestly, even with kids, like there's a lot of single Black men with no children available who's hardworking, who make about 50 or more. You know what I'm saying? Or even it's a little less than that, and they working their way up, but they're working their way the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it's, for the most part, like I said, Black men are building, but I think Black women, we've been sold this dream, and we're not. I think a lot of us think that we're settling in our minds. Like I said, we have like this misconstrued version of ourselves. You know, it's like we have this illusion of ourselves that we have leveled up past Black men. And so where we think, since we on this level up here with our little education and little jobs with no, little businesses with no damn employees, or like little jobs or whatever that we work at, we think that we're doing better, you know, that especially with all the propaganda of Black women, you know, this whole Black women feminist propaganda that's going on, we think that we're, like I said, we're doing better. And so when you get with a Black man who is doing average, who's probably doing just as well as you know what I'm saying, or even better as you, it feels like you deserve more. You know, like women are viewed with a good man and have a good man to be like, it feels like something's missing. Like, I feel like I can have more. And it's because you're looking at people on Instagram, you're looking at people on Love and Hip Hop, you're looking at all of these false ideas of what you think a relationship should look like. And since it doesn't look like that specifically, y'all not on a yacht smoking a J, taking shots with all your friends, you know what I'm saying, and y'all lit, or y'all can't afford to fly to Barbados on a weekend, whenever, but it's like, this is not it. Like, I don't feel fulfilled. Like, it's like we're feeling like we're not all the way fulfilled or satisfied when we are.
Why is it that you have some women who will talk all this shit about Black men, average Black men, or even Black men that's making bank, and they still don't want to mess with them, but they will date or they will commit to the average non-Black man who still don't have any of that shit?